Let's roll. Memory, Craig Mack. Craig Mack, man.
Rest in peace, man.
Peace and blessings, brother. I guess it's buffering.
Crazy like they glue.
You're crazy like the glue. That's my favorite
This
part
make
of
you
the
want to hit a
record.
freestyle though.
Hello, and welcome to Conversations with Malik podcast show, coming to you from the Empire State, New York City. I'm glad to have you and thank all of you who are listening and watching the show. This podcast is about the stories of transformation of regular people during the basic struggle and pain of everyday life. Everyone has a testimony. We all have survived the darkness. Now let's talk about how we got to the light so that we can help our brothers and sisters who still haven't overcome their demons. But guess what?
What, brother?
We all have devils on different levels. So through conversations, we use the tools of insight to light the path of hope. Let's have a chat and stop running from our issues. If we live through them, then talking about it probably won't kill us. That's what we're doing. Talking, crying, laughing, joking, looking inward so that we can grow outward is the theme of the show. The caterpillar transforming into the butterfly is the goal and purpose of this podcast. When you talk about you, I learn about me. Iron sharpens iron
Steel sharpens steel.
so that we can cut through the fog of despair into the hope of today. Welcome to Conversations with Malik. Before we start today's show, don't forget to follow us and check us out on our brand new website. That was just launched today. Yeah. Listen, you know, it's a lot of work put into the website, convoswithmalik.com. And in the spirit of Jeff Jones, I'll spell it for you.
For those that don't know how to spell.
Right.
ConvosWithMalik.com. I better know how to spell my name.
Right.
There you will find all our social media links, videos, past shows, everything you need. We got book referrals, book collections of books that I've read. And, I'm here with my co-host, Jeff Jones. What's going on, Jeff Jones?
Man, I can't call it, man. Another beautiful day, you know. Woke up without a nor'easter.
Okay.
You know, it's Brick City outside. My coat need a coat.
It's very cold.
I got the ASCAP pad on the Conversations with Malik
No
under
doubt.
the long sleeve t-shirts. Kind of faded a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
You
it's
know,
okay.
but you know, I came here to represent, and yo, man, it's a good day, man.
Yeah.
Good
yeah.
day.
Yeah, and then we got somebody else that's here with us today, Mr. Make It Happen
Happy to
himself.
be here.
Woo!
Happy to be
Listen.
here. Happy to be here.
How you doing, my brother?
I'm great, bro. I'm great. It's been a long day. You know how it goes, but I'm happy to be here. And like I said on the last podcast, the last time I was here, but many people don't know what your story is, what Jeff's story is, and why this got started. So thank you for being on. Thank you for bringing me on board, and just allowing this platform to motivate others. You know what I'm saying?
doubt.
Real conversation, real men. This is, you know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
I like that.
And so when somebody comes on, it's kind of like because we're a community, we're a
Right.
brother and sisterhood.
Right.
You know, we're all people, and you know, if you connect with us a certain way, and you definitely
For
from
sure.
when we
From
interviewed
the
you,
first one, from
Yes,
from
yes,
from
yes.
before you interviewed me, I definitely
you connected.
I was immediately. You saw
Look,
I sent you a text. I was like,
no
oh
doubt.
man, what y'all doing is amazing right
No,
now.
we
listen,
appreciate
he
that.
was texting me like, when can
Yeah.
I come back on?
Please.
But because it was also, now once you had left, we talked for about, we was here, me, him, and
Wendell, right?
we talked for about an hour and a half.
For
And
real.
so, you know.
Just kicking it. Just kicking it.
Just
right?
kicking it.
Yeah.
And it's about spirituality. It's about helping each other. It's about growing in understanding and effectiveness. It's
Right.
about God. And so I'm not shying away from that.
Right.
On this show, I'm not trying to be anybody else. I'm here to help people, because possibly if we could just do something tonight that somebody watches this and they become a better person,
Right.
then I've done my job.
And it's crazy how when Devon came on the first time, what was crazy is like we started getting a lot of people actually liking our Facebook page.
Definitely.
That actually knew who Devon was.
Yes, they did.
I started getting calls myself from like John Hogan and a bunch of other people.
You know
It's like, "Yo, you know him? You know him?" Now that
That's
actually
crazy.
inspired them to come onto the show and tell us their story.
Yeah.
Definitely. And that's what it's about. And that's why we're doing a show with topics. And so we're gonna start out. We got some different things we're gonna talk about today. But the first thing, because we're business people,
Right.
we're gonna talk about starting a business. And listen, in starting out a business, for me, it was very tough and very challenging. I think the biggest challenge for me in starting out a business was getting over the fear that I could do it,
Right.
right? The fear that I can do it. I didn't necessarily have all of the resources at the time, but what I did have was I had that mustard seed of faith,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I had
Okay.
the
That's
idea.
real.
But what I didn't do, which a lot of people do who don't actually get their businesses off the ground, they look at their exterior conditions
Right.
when the inspiration comes to them, and they go, well, based on my exterior conditions, there's no way I'm gonna be able to do this
Right.
business.
Right.
And inspiration doesn't need the exterior conditions to be right.
Right.
Inspiration holds its own weight and says, no, listen, let's do this.
I agree. Yeah.
And it's through the taking the steps that everything will unfold. So, you guys are business guys. My first question is, what is it like for you? Was it like for you starting a business, and what suggestions would you have for people that are looking to start a business?
You want to shoot?
Oh,
with
no
that,
doubt.
Devon?
I mean, I could definitely jump into it. I mean, for me, definitely the first thing as far as starting a business, I really didn't have that glass ceiling, so to speak. Like, you know what I'm saying? I didn't have any kind of cap on me wanting to start a business, because my dad is an entrepreneur. He has his own contracting business.
Right.
So I already saw that growing up. I knew what the grind was about. 9 to 9, always kind of working thing. But I also saw the part where he was really flexible with his schedule.
Right.
So I saw that part of it as well. And it's like I can make my own hours. I can do what I want. I can, make as much money as I want or as little money as I want. But when you talk about starting a business, I think the biggest thing and the most fearful thing is the ups and downs of being an entrepreneur. When you have a 9 to 5 and I'm making a certain amount,
Right.
I'm getting X amount of dollars an hour. I'm getting
Uh-huh.
a certain salary. But then now when I become an entrepreneur and I start a business, now everything is on me. So
Right.
I can make as much as I want, or I can make as little as I want. So I mean, I can fail miserably.
Right.
So that fear is always what's holding people back.
And that's where the
But
fear
the same,
comes
but
in.
the same
Can
way
I
you got,
sustain?
same way you have the fear though is the same way that faith will work. So if you got that same type of faith, like you said, that mustard seed faith that grows into something great, the potential is limitless.
Right.
So I mean, for me, going back to what you said, starting the business, it was using what I already knew and just taking it and applying it in another area for me. So, for my thing was training, right? And the classes and stuff like that. So I was already at a big box gym, like a commercial gym.
Right.
So I just took what I knew and started it
And implemented it.
and implemented it right with the dance school and things like that. Started pulling my own clientele together and seeing what was going on. So that was my start.
What about you, Jay?
I mean, my start in starting a business, it's funny you said that. It's fear. I mean, there's always fear. But my start where I first started off in the music industry. I worked in the music industry for several years. So my first stop at the music industry was a performing rights organization, ASCAP. I'm wearing a hat actually right now. And basically they license venues that uses music, with a television network, commercials that you hear music.
Right.
ASCAP, you're going to an elevator, ASCAP, they have to hold a license to be able to play that music. So it's more of the business side of the music industry. So I had a great knowledge of music publishing and things of that nature. So I said,
Crossing
hey,
the T's, dotting the I's.
cross my T's, dotting the I's. And I realized there's a lot of individuals that are songwriters are looking for someone to assist them on getting their royalties, because it's more than just contractual obligation with a record company. You get paid this advance money. It's for your project. It's for you to grow. And a lot of these guys, they tend to, of course, use a lot of that money for their personal lifestyles, of course,
Instead of saving it.
instead of saving it. You know, there's always a person that needs to be able to assist you based upon each CD sold. You know, and that's where I came in. And I had a lot of confidence because, you know, I was at my desk and I picked up a lot of this knowledge and I was able to turn it into a business. Now, keep in mind, there really was nothing proprietary in what I was doing. You know, there's other companies that do this as well. Music publishing companies, big companies, basically. But I found a niche where I wasn't looking to take too much from those people that own their copyright ownership to their catalog. The niche is for me to be able to just manage it and collect a percentage each time I capture royalties.
Nice.
Right.
So now it was time to kind of package that, because keep in mind, I was in a large company. So these guys are going to go to big companies.
Right.
Because they're going to give them those advances. So what I had to do is I had to create a niche, but at the same time, I had to go out and try to have faith and take out a loan. At the time, credit was banging. I mean, I could walk into a car dealer, shit, and they'll just give me a car.
Yeah, that's back before Bush.
So what I ended up doing is I went and I
Clinton days.
I actually got a loan,
Right.
you know, a $10K loan. I never could forget.
Predatory loans too back then.
Exactly. And this was a personal loan that I got. And I let that sit there and I waited until I could get like the right client to be able to give them that loan as an advance, just to make us seem as we were big.
Gotcha.
And that client came along, and believe it or not, that client was Kanye West.
Nice.
You know, we talked on the phone constantly. Because I worked at ASCAP, he knew I was there, and I had to hide this business that I was doing from ASCAP because I didn't want them to know that I was doing this type of business.
Right.
So I started the business from sitting at my desk.
Oh, man.
You know, so long story short, you know, Kanye just did a project. He just recorded with Ludacris and Jay-Z, H to the Izzo at the time, and
I remember that.
he had no clue of, you know, what else come beside his upfront money for selling a beat. He didn't understand that, you know, there was royalties involved. So he constantly kept calling me, had conversations, and I actually educated him. I was this close to actually having him as a client.
Gotcha.
At some point, this guy became like huge, you know, like working on a big Jay-Z record.
Yeah, the rest is history.
He became
Now that
huge. So
goes.
at that point, a lot of the big publishing companies were offering him like, you know, some out-figure deals, you know. So at that point, I knew my chances was limited. So his assistant ended up calling me and was like, unfortunately, he did some business with Universal Music Group. So basically now they would own his catalog and give him an advance towards his catalog. These numbers don't come out the sky, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
They go
Big
ahead
money.
and try to figure it out.
Yeah.
What this record will do, and they'll just give him like a couple $1 million in worth of advance. So he actually went and he had another company be able to administer his catalog, and they did more than just administer, and they own the rights to his catalog. So one thing about me is I had the faith because I understand the business. I had
That
the
you
knowledge.
had a product to offer.
Right.
And that was information.
That was information.
Right.
So that's how I mean, there was a little fear because I didn't have the money to offer these guys these big advances.
Yeah.
But I understand the aspects of the business. So that was actually my first business.
And that was key what you said. So, you know, it's when we look to start a business, it's like, do I have the information that's necessary to carry out and implement what needs to be carried out and implemented? And, you know, and it's funny because the fear is, can I maintain and sustain, or should I stay in a safe environment, maybe working for somebody else, right? And being your own business owner isn't for everybody.
Right.
But there's risks even in working for somebody else.
Yeah, for
Because you
sure.
could get laid off. I remember I was sitting with my father-in-law, and we were sitting on the steps, and I was working for him at the time. And he was telling me about what happened with my wife and their family, that he was working for this big company, comfortable life, making well over 6 figures, getting like $40,000 a year bonuses, right? I used to always mess with Tracy, because Tracy used to get $1,000 for Christmas.
40,000.
Back in the day, she used to get $1,000 cash. So I used to call her the $1,000 girl. Right? I still mess with her to this day. But their company sold the company to another company, and the management came in.
Private sector business.
So when management comes in,
They clean
who
the
they
house.
get rid of? They
you're
get
right.
rid of management.
Right.
They keep the lower level workers. And his whole life went into an uproar. And he said to me, which he just reinforced what I already knew, because I was always an entrepreneur. He said, Malik, if you want to have real security for your family, run your own business. You never have to worry about anybody laying you off.
Yeah.
And that
I
really,
agree.
I already kind of knew that, but it really stuck with me. But now, so the thing is, so a lot of people, when they looking to get into business, they looking to team up with people, right? And because they feel kind of insecure, they want to start businesses with other people.
Right.
And who do you normally look to? You look to your friends. Do you think businesses and friendship mix?
Whoa. I mean, business.
It
and
could
friendship-
it could mix. It could mix. I mean,
I'm getting a
mean,
no
it-
over there.
it
I'm
really-
getting a
it
big
really-
land the plane
I mean,
here.
no, it
No,
could, like I agree with what I'm gonna let Devon pick up
yeah,
on
I
that.
mean, business and friendship can definitely mix, just like businesses with people that are not your friends can mix, because ultimately, I mean, it's still a relationship, but it's just like a team.
Right.
Business and friendship is just like playing a team sport with somebody.
but
Yeah,
it does
the-
change the dynamic.
It
of the
definitely
friendship.
does, but the first thing is the vision has to align. You know what I'm saying? Just because we're friends doesn't
agree.
mean we have the same vision.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? Just because we're friends doesn't mean
I agree.
that we have the same business styles.
So D, you saying
You
y'all
know?
got to have a discussion about
we got to get on the same page. It's like, business. It's like any other relationship. We
Right.
gotta get
Right.
We gotta get on the same.
But you know what
page.
happens when you start balling and you leaving your friends behind? They feel like
Well,
they
yeah.
feel like you're not including them,
I mean,
right?
I see what Devon is saying.
You gotta change the circle up there.
No,
No.
I totally see what he's saying. I
Right.
mean, just like any other relationship, it could mix. It's a possible, but you have to have the same vision.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm taking the safe road out.
and some people just don't have the same vision. Like you
Yeah.
could have thought about it.
I've
but
seen
this
some
friend,
business and friendships.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
seen things really go bad.
I mean, the thing about it is, we as friends, we know what to expect from our friend. We know what to expect from a stranger.
as a friend
As a friend,
and as a stranger.
exactly.
But when you add, but now, I mean, to go a little deeper into what you're saying, business and friendship, you can run a business with a friend, and business and friendship can mix as long as you know when to turn it on and turn it off at
Right.
the same time.
That's
As
as
long
where
as you
it's hard.
right,
That's where it's hard
Devon,
at.
Right,
with people who you grew up with.
yeah,
I've become friends with people, but it started out as business.
right, right,
And for some reason, it never gets personal because we met as business people.
right, right.
Well, that's different.
But
Right.
when you went to high school with somebody and y'all shared now laters,
And we grew up
y'all
together.
saved each other some of the juice, right? And then y'all become business people.
Yeah,
It's tough because
lines get
if
crossed,
anything
right.
goes wrong, it's too interconnected, like
Well,
personally.
I agree. I
Yeah.
agree. And if you have those emotional,
And you might not remain friends after.
I agree.
Right.
And if you can't separate your emotions to business, then it could be a problem.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah.
usually a case, and I hate to say it, is usually a case with women. Women are smart, but a woman and man doing business together, especially if they're husband and wife or significant other,
Oh man,
you know,
Yeah.
Oh
No.
man, here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeff gonna have all the women
I've
emailing in.
experienced that.
Jeff,
I've
he gonna have all the women.
experienced
well, that's
He gonna have all the women emailing in. You better. It's Women Empowerment Month. I just want to say to the
yeah,
ladies,
listen,
shout out
well,
to
that's
you.
a whole nother.
That's a whole
That's a whole
nother
different.
level.
Yeah.
marriage and business. Oh, that's a whole.
So I mean, my business partner is my girlfriend. you
my
know.
business partner is my wife.
Right. So I mean, again, it takes a level of maturity
Right.
from both people and understanding. Like, listen, we got a job to do.
He was business partners with his wife.
Right.
We got a job to do, and then two, it's like our visions have to
Yeah.
align, you know. And if you see things going south, you know what I'm saying? If you see, you know, our relationship affecting the business, it's like, okay, let's take a step back. I mean, but again, these are all things that you learn after a while of doing
Yeah,
business with that
yeah.
friend.
It's trial and
You know,
error.
things like that. I mean, it's trial and error unless you he's shaking it. Unless and it's something that we're gonna get to too. Unless you have a mentor, someone that's gonna coach you through these things and help you to look for these things. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So we're also speaking from people that have been doing certain things for a while and you know stepping back and assessing our situation.
Right.
You know, it's not like you just stepping on the scene and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna just jump into business with my friend. But you know, all three of us have been doing.
Yes.
You know, conducting our business for some time. So I think
Yeah.
as someone that's a little more seasoned and kind of understands, and if you just have that relationship with someone, you know, Steve Carr Ecker, the author of Secrets of a Millionaire Mind, says how you do anything is how you do everything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like if you and I can have a good relationship, you know, if you and I have a good friendship, and there's certain things that come into play, it's certain things that certain things that come to us, and we know how to separate that time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? More than likely, we'd be able to go into business together. I mean, that's kind of like an oversight of what we're talking about. But what I'm saying is, if I'm in a relationship with my significant other, something like that, and we started a business and we have a great relationship, you know, our visions align. We speak, we communicate, because
Right.
communication is a big thing.
It's a key. It's
Yes.
a key.
With any relationship. Communication is
Right.
But
could
businesses
hit anything.
are tough on
It's like I need to know where
marriages.
you're at, I'm at, and how we conduct business. I think that you know, it could definitely work out when you have those
It can work.
alignment.
My experience, I think me and my wife was talking about this, that one of the toughest times of us being together was us actually opening the storefront business together.
Yeah.
I can only imagine.
It's tough, bro.
Yo,
tough.
listen. I mean, if we weren't tried and tested based on other experiences, it's a possibility we might not be together right now.
Right.
I mean, we
Right.
talked
Right.
about it. Like it was really,
That's real.
really rough.
Yeah.
Because, you know, here you had two people who just had different ways
Right.
of kind of doing things. And now we're around each other all day and not having that time apart.
Right.
Yeah, to separate.
It's a little tough.
To
Was a-
decompress.
It's
and
tough.
stuff like
It's
that.
tough.
And then
definitely-
how do you turn on and off?
On and off. You got to turn it on and off.
You come home, you seriously disagree about something with the business, and the business is actually affecting,
Right.
like, okay, the decisions that y'all make with business, and if she said, I think we should do it that way, but now the black and white, and you're looking at the numbers and like, yeah, see, you wanted to
Right.
do it this way, right?
Yeah.
And now look at our numbers, or vice
Right,
versa.
right.
If I wanted to do it this way, and it's like, so now we only looking at $3,000, and we got to pay the mortgage and all this when we could have maybe had six.
You know, I see
That's
what
tough.
you're saying. It's tough. I mean, with any business, it's about survival, you know? And it's a pleasure to be sitting next to Devon that, you know, could run a business with his significant. And
It ain't easy, bro.
I'm sure it's not easy, but
It
you
takes some
probably,
time, but
you
no.
probably don't have the stories like we have. But at the end of the day, it's still a pleasure. I'm sure I could learn from you.
Right.
But it's just in black ink. I mean, it has to make sense.
Yeah.
Decisions has to make sense. It's not personal.
Yeah.
It's really not
Yeah.
personal. The decision has to. I mean, at some point we have to understand that the business itself is a human being.
Right.
You know,
It's like
And
raising
that-
a child. It's like
It's
a
his
baby.
own
Exactly.
entity.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's a human being, and you have to make decisions based upon this human being. It's like a baby. You grow, you put them clothes on, things of that nature. So it's important.
That's true.
And I say to myself too, and I just want to say this, man, the amount of people that I know, we could build an empire.
Right.
Because we
Right.
know a lot of people with different techniques and they do different things. We know people that's tax people that do marketing promotion.
Right.
Yeah.
We know so much. Can you imagine putting all these
Yeah.
people together? But question is, like you said, Devon, the vision.
Does it align? You know, do our styles align at the
Yeah.
end of the day? You know,
And another thing, so if you're in a business,
Mm-hmm.
and we got 3 minutes before the break. If you're in a business and you see that, how do you know when it's time to get out or to sell? What are some of the indicators that let you know what, I need to shift and change directions?
Well, I think in a case like that, you want to give it some time. Of course, at least, people jump into business and thinking that they're going to see all this money as
Right.
soon as they get into business.
Right.
It takes at least 3 to 5 years to really start seeing seeing some income with some residuals enough to be able to put in your pocket.
Right.
Any business you have to pay yourself. But I would say, if you see you doing this thing and it's 3 to 5 years, it could become a hobby if you're not making anything.
Right. Well, the Small Business Administration states that only 30% of new businesses fail during the first 2 years of being open, 50% of those during the first 5 years, and 60% during the first 10 years. So only 34% of businesses make it out of 10 years. That's a heavy stat. That's something to take a look at. And we're going to go to break right now. When we come back from break, we're going to get into some more juicy topics like how do black men feel about black women getting plastic surgery.
Oh,
that should be interesting.
We'll be right back. Yes, we're back. So,
Break.
I have a great question, and we're, as entrepreneurs and the way society is going now. I was speaking at a youth football luncheon the other day, and I asked the young men. I said it was a football team, and I said, how many of you guys want to be NFL players? And all of them raised their hand. Me. And I said, well, some of my former teammates of the Rifles are here. And I pointed to them. I told a few of them to stand up. And I said, guess how many of us made it to the NFL? And guess how many of my sons and all of the people from my nephews who played out there, my little brother's teams who played out there, guess how many of them made it? I said, none. So one of the mothers go, I heard, don't spoil my son's dreams. And I said, I'm not spoiling your son's dreams. I said, I hope one of them make it.
Right.
I said, but we need more NFL owners
Heavy.
than we need NFL players.
Right.
So I want to start changing the narrative, right? So my question is, should parents tell their children just to get an education or to teach them how to be entrepreneurs? Now, you can actually go get your education to be an entrepreneur.
Right.
Right?
Right.
I agree.
For sure.
And a lot of people do. We talked about that on the last show, how you go and work someplace, study the craft under what it is that you
Right.
want to do,
Right.
take the manager skills that you learn from them and apply it to your business.
Right.
But you have some people who just say, hey, just get your education or just go get a job, drive for MTA or whatever. And those jobs are good.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. But What do you guys think as far as that concerned? Do you think parents should teach more of just get your education, or should they be teaching their children how to be entrepreneurs?
I mean, getting an education is important,
Right.
of course. In fact, there's, like you said, you could do both. For instance, there's in colleges, there's different programs in colleges. There's different courses, like business administration major.
Right.
So you actually doing both while you taking that course. You could, think of a business that you might want to do.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as education or business, I mean, I think I have to say education is important in terms of anything. To have an education, that's what's going to take you to the next level.
Right.
And I mean, you could sit and learn from work, like you said. Like,
right.
For instance, let's say, if you're working for the MTA,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's only but so much you can learn. I mean, I guess with me is I pick up an education with every day. I could be talking to a bum and I could learn from a bum.
Right.
I'm going to be educated on something that I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think education is the key
Okay.
for the most part.
Okay. But education can also be,
Life experiences.
and it could be learning how to run a business.
For sure. I think parents shouldn't necessarily say whether or not. I mean, at the end of the day, your children are your children. I don't have children yet, but I know that when I do, what I'm going to do for my child is to look at the skill set that they already have and hone in on that.
Okay.
Now, if you are, if you're inclined to do really well and excel in school, then let's do it. Academia is important. Let's,
Right.
let's go. Let's try to get you in a Ivy League school, get you some, get that academic scholarship, things like that. On my end, I was a little different, and I'm thankful that my parents didn't really. Not that it wasn't important to get an education, but like I said, I think we discussed this in the last one. But my grandfather dropped out of high school. My dad dropped out of high school. My older brother dropped out of high school. I was the first male in my immediate family to graduate high school and then go into college. So the bar wasn't really set too high for me.
Okay.
I mean, graduating high school was just like, okay, cool. But I mean, college, like I was learning more. I was learning more from life experiences and then ultimately applying that to my business than I was learning in school. I was barely in school. I was barely, to be honest, I was barely at school. But there's certain life skills that I picked up on, being, certain life skills as far as networking, knowing how to speak to people the right way, doing what Jeff said, he did at other businesses, learning how everything worked. Oh, we doing this? This is the skill set that we need for this as a manager, the time and, things like that. Oh, okay, that's how we doing it. This is how the finances are.
Right.
That's how I learn.
Right.
I learn by experience. So for parents, I really feel like it shouldn't be like a one size fit all thing. It should be, this is your skill set and let's work on that. Because it's so funny. I was having a conversation with someone earlier, and it was like they were talking about how they were putting their child through high school, and the tuition was some crazy figure that they were saying. I think it was a couple $1,000.
Yeah, high school, private high school.
Yeah, private high school, something like that. Catholics, and then they were talking about paying for their college, given that they didn't get a scholarship. And they was like, well, what if and the person was actually a sergeant of the NYPD who I was speaking to. And they were like, what if after all of that, my son or daughter just wanted to be in the NYPD? You know what I'm saying? After all,
Right.
Yeah.
it's like after all of that, how do I
paid all
feel
of that.
after all of that? So I mean, I don't think that, we should really, it depends. You have to see what your skill set is.
It
Skill
does
set
depend.
is,
But what it is that I'm finding is that we talk about Black empowerment,
right.
and we talk about being empowered. If I look at it from a broad
Right.
view, how are we actually going to be empowered the way we need to be empowered to have political, financial strength and power,
Right.
if we're sending our children generation at a time into the workforce?
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. Now I
See,
that
so-
changed the scope a lot. You know.
Right.
You know, because listen, you know, we need to be calling the shots, and it's really a mindset. Like I've been looking at what's been happening with the NFL players. I'm looking at how who's the guy who's starting XFL from the wrestling? What's his name? Jim McMahon. Jim McMahon is like, all right, I'm bringing the XFL back,
Yeah.
and we're gonna start our own league,
What's the
and we're gonna do it right
what's
this
what's
time.
what's the dad? LeVar, is it LeVar Ball?
LeVar Ball.
He was
Not sure
talking
of
about
his
starting
name.
his own. LeVar's-
Ice Cube started the Big Three.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's
starting their own
like-
league, yeah.
Let's stop the protesting in the sense, because you know what protests actually are. Protests are you're trying to tell somebody in power to respect how we view something, right?
Right.
When you could just go, you don't gotta respect it. Deuces.
I'm making my own.
Right.
I'm making
Peace.
my own. Yeah.
You don't gotta like it. Bye. And we'll suffer the steps that we have to suffer until we get to where we gotta go.
Yeah.
But if you don't like it, deuces.
That you know what I hear what you're saying. I'm playing devil's advocate a little bit.
Yeah,
but
that's cool.
That's coming from someone that's already started something on their own and understands the significance of that. It's so many of us, and let's be honest. I mean, since we're talking about it in our community, you know what I'm saying, black, brown,
Right. Right.
that we're so like the whole crabs in the barrel kind of thing. So I mean, for us, yeah, you're right. We need it most. We really need to be starting
Right.
most businesses and making sure that we are, we're really the epicenter of our communities. You know what I'm saying? Like the black dollar is really circulating.
Yeah, because
you know
we
what I'm
have
saying?
businesses.
Of course,
businesses in our community.
Of course.
Right.
But if you go out of our community, you don't see us with businesses
Right,
in
right.
other communities.
Right,
And you know what gets me sick? I'm on Merrick Boulevard, and everybody's starting the same damn
Yeah.
businesses.
Yeah. You know what? I mean,
Tell
that's,
him,
that's,
Malik.
that's,
I mean,
that's-
come on.
You know, the thing,
Right, Sharona, we was talking about this.
Yeah.
Don't open another hair
the thing-
shop. I don't want to see another.
Let 'em know.
Don't sell no more hair on
I
Merrick.
agree. I agree. You know, the thing about it is,
Oh, sell hair in another community.
And it's-
they will buy it.
it's really pathetic, man. It's sad.
No more
that-
Jamaican restaurants.
This is one of the reasons why. This is one of the reasons why. This is what I'm
Right.
saying. And you see, you made a good point there. I mean, it's almost pathetic, like how, we
Get me sick.
don't
Get your own ideas.
Tell 'em why you mad.
we don't
'em.
respect we as minorities don't respect our ideas and visions and things of that nature. So we would do stuff like that. You put, a daycare center in one corner, another daycare center in another corner by another owner.
You open up a daycare down the block from me because you too scared to go to a neighborhood that
Right.
don't have any daycares. So you rather
Right.
open up one near me
Exactly.
to play it safe and still try to steal some of my customers.
Jamaican restaurants, hair salons, things of that nature. It's almost pathetic that you see this stuff happens all the time. And guess what?
Goodness gracious.
Guess what? It always happened with our kind. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yes, listen.
You
let
know
me tell
what?
you
It
something.
goes back to what we were saying before.
Listen.
but
They will
you
support
got-
if you go to a white neighborhood. If you go to another neighborhood,
Jewish.
and you're offering good services, they will support your
Right.
business. There's a place called Dunn's River right here, and I'm shouting it out because the owner was very nice to me in Rockville Center.
Right.
I went in, half the place was Caucasian, and people in Rockville Center got money.
Right.
She ain't have to open her joint on
Merrick.
on Farmers and Merrick
Right.
to play it safe. Other people with money want the food, and guess what? You can charge $22 for a plate that you would charge $12 in our area
And they will pay
make
it.
more money.
And they'll pay it. Yeah, people would pay it.
It's about knowing your market. though.
Yeah.
It's about knowing your business. It's about knowing your market.
business, knowing
You
your
know,
market.
Let's move
You know-
on. Let's move on to the next thing. So we want to
Malik-
get
Malik's
into
passionate about
you know,
that.
you know, we want to get into
we gotta save that for another one. They're gonna have a whole seminar on
and
this.
seriously, guys, if
No,
for
for real,
anybody
for real.
watching on Devon's Instagram stuff
live.
or the people who are gonna watch this show,
Right.
I provide services to people that don't look like me. And they pay me 3 times, matter of fact, 3.5 times the amount that my people pay me for the same
Service.
exact service.
Right.
If all of my buses was with those people, I wouldn't be living in this house.
Right.
And this is a beautiful house.
Mm-hmm.
But I would have 2 or 3 of these. No, I'm serious. That's the
true.
difference
That's a
in the
fact.
price
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
And it's the same service.
fact.
And guess what? They don't complain as much.
Right. Because all we do
No,
is
listen,
complain.
listen, I hate it, but you know what? It's
This
you
is a
good?
nice light.
You good? You good? you know. Listen, it's. But listen, yo. But no, I'm gonna keep it real, and it's nothing, and it's nothing wrong with that. But now it's up to us,
Right.
to educate other people. Like
Yeah.
like you said, I can go to the city and charge 3, 4, 5 times the amount,
Right.
for the same services that I'm. You know, I mean, one, we could talk about demographic and who can afford it,
Right, that's true.
but then it also you know, you have to see where your niche is valued at in that area. But at the same
Gotcha.
time, it's about the educational piece. And I
Right.
know we're gonna get to the food and stuff like that, but it's like, how much value do you see in those things?
I
It's
agree.
where the value is in that neighborhood.
And
and
that's
stuff.
Great point.
You know what I'm
Great
saying?
point.
It's-
Great
You know,
point.
so but it's up to us to educate and understand. Listen,
Yes.
this is how much this is what I'm worth. This is what my services are worth. This is what my business is worth. And here's the reason why I'm charging that price. And you have to be the educator on that, you know? So why
Gotcha.
and to go, and you know, why since we're going to segue into healthy food, why would I go to Trader Joe's or Whole Foods when I got Associated down the block? Why am I going to go to the healthy food
Right.
spot for $15 plate of organic food when I got the dollar menu, and when that's all I could really afford? I got mouths to feed, and you know what I'm saying, it's one income in my house.
Yeah.
So it's you know what I'm saying, it's where it's we have to go. When in regards to that, we have to go where we have to show people where our value is. You know what I'm saying? It's up to you to really educate people and have them understand this is
Educate the consumer.
Right.
educate the consumer if you're gonna do business there. Because my thing, to go back to business, my thing was, I can be in another demographic making multiple, different types of money, or charging a little bit more for my service, but that's not my people. That's not who needs it. That's not who needed my services. I can't go do that and then come back home and my mother's suffering from high blood pressure and obesity.
Right.
Like, how do I, you know what I'm saying? My family is doing that. So I got to bite the bullet and find another way, or educate those people. And that's it. You know,
mean,
you got to just educate, so
I
you
feel-
got to sell the best Jamaican
Right.
food.
I
Like, I do
agree.
Jamaican food a different way.
I agree.
Right.
I just feel
I'm
like
putting
with
turmeric
us-
in my food instead of curry. Like,
I totally agree. I feel like with us, we just have to, like, we spend so much money to do things in our business to justify why we charge a certain amount.
yeah, right.
I mean, it's just pathetic, bro. It's like, you go someplace else, they don't got to do too much.
Yeah. They
You
don't
know?
question why
They
you're
don't
charging
question.
what you're
It's
It's the
charging.
expectation.
You know,
Yeah.
I went out and I put a smart board in my center. I did all of this futuristic stuff to educate kids, and you get parents coming in and was like, oh, I understand why my tuition went up a little bit more.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, damn.
With an attitude
You know
behind
what I'm
it.
saying? I mean, I have to suffer not driving with an attitude behind. I have to suffer not driving my nice car because I don't want people being like, oh, this is where my tuition is going. Like,
Right.
we have a concept of thinking, bro.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
like, it's just sad, man.
yeah. I mean,
It's just sad. And we only the ones that understand that stuff because we're business owners.
Yeah.
Business owners have a different type of
Some of us.
mindset.
yeah.
Well, some of
yeah.
us.
Well,
Exactly. Just like you said,
yeah.
some of us. I mean, we supposed to think
Right.
different because we business owners. But at the end of the day, it's about survival.
Yeah.
We do things and we do things our way. And sometimes we have to switch and make decisions to do things because we don't want people to think that what they paying us is we living off of what they're paying us.
Right.
Technically, we have expenses to pay.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
We got things that we have to pay. Light has to pay. People has to get paid. You know, I mean, with everything we do. You see, Caucasian people, Asian people, they're not questioned about what we're questioning. They don't do that much complaining because of like their audience.
Yeah,
Right.
But
yeah.
again, we gotta educate them.
Right,
Right,
or
it's-
if
it's-
or if someone, that same preschool, if it had a Caucasian owner
Right.
and they just went up on the price, it wouldn't be, well, why did you raise the price?
Exactly.
you
They
go.
always feel like they can question.
Why-
They can question us.
Why do you think that is? Why?
Because they're looking at it like they want to understand the reason why black business owners make a decision that they make, because they don't totally trust it.
Right.
So then it's like, Mr. Malik, well, why did you so and so?
Why you a male? Why you a male? I had a parent ask me that.
Running a
I was
daycare.
iffy about leaving my child here. You see that child open up the door in the morning? That child runs to me, Mr. Jeff. Mommy was like, she had a bad experience about a male being around her child. What am I supposed to do?
That could go back to some of her issues, though.
That could go back to somebody. This is my place here.
Yeah.
Eventually, mommy decided to remove her child from the center. That's fine.
Wow.
Right.
We go through this a lot,
Right.
man. It's
Wow.
just sad.
Wow.
I don't know if we said it, but how do we change the culture around that? Definitely educate. But how do we, as people, like, how do we change a culture?
I think we are. I think like the examples of like who you are and how you carry yourself, and me and how I carry myself, and Jeff. I think we are. I just think not enough of us own businesses, so we don't respect or understand
Right on.
when a business person does something. You just don't. We enough of us aren't even in leadership positions and I'm not talking about supervisor. So nobody, I'm a supervisor. I'm not talking about that. Because supervisors,
Not to knock anybody that's a supervisor.
Yeah,
but
supervisors are just, I'm putting you to look over them so I don't have to do it. I'm talking about vice presidents, presidents,
CEO.
When you're in that position, you understand. I'm telling you, I could talk to a business person on a train and we could ride the whole ride and just get each other. People who are in leadership position, Dr. Reginald Landau, we could just talk for hours because we get it.
But
It's like people, it's like, women who have had children, they have this like thing where they get each other. Right. People who own their own businesses, we're like in this certain fraternity that we can like talk for a second and be like, we get each other.
Right. I mean,
Gotcha.
We've had babies.
Going back to what you said, going back to what Devon said, is how do we fix it? Devon, I think it's difficult. We need a movement. We can't fix this on our own. It can't be 3 of us, 5 of us, 10 of us. We need a movement.
And that's why we're doing the show.
That's why we're doing a show like this. We need a movement to understand that it's pathetic out there, and it's important for us to wake up and do things a little bit differently.
Yes.
We can't do this on our own. It's tough.
Yeah.
You can speak. You could speak as much as you want. You could be on, the biggest radio stations, Hot 97. You could do all of that stuff. Ain't nobody trying to listen to us. We need a movement. That's why we do a show like this.
Yep. And so we're going to segue. And so this is something that, we know we have a problem with obesity because now we're going to start to work our way into the health. And we got Mr. Loose and Tone Fitness and
yes, sir.
And the meal preps. And I think maybe you can holler at Tracy before you leave.
I'm
think
here,
she's
yeah.
supposed to be
Let's
hitting
do
you
it.
up
I'm
for
doing some conversations
meals
all
and-
night.
and all that stuff. So, but we're going to get to the meal preps and things that you're doing. We have a problem with obesity in the community, male and female, right?
Health in general, yeah.
Health
Not
in
just- yeah,
general. But for some reason, I'm bumping into sisters that I went to junior high school with. And this one sister goes, and I'm not even really being funny, but she goes, "Hey, Malik, how you doing?" And I'm like, "Hey, what's going on, girl? How's it going?" And she's like, "You don't recognize me, do you?" And I'm like, yeah, I remember you. She's like, "You don't recognize me. I know I got fat. I look different." And I was just like,
do you?
And I hugged her, and I really didn't remember her until we left because I didn't recognize her, And so some sisters are, and so a couple of brothers and people posed this question to me, and so some sisters are, they're getting liposuction, they're getting butt implants, they're doing things to change themselves, and I know we're married men, but do you think, from the brothers that you talk to and from what you see, do you think men really care for sisters getting plastic surgery and these operations?
Yeah, Devon, I think we need to touch on this before I come in.
And are women opposed to, are women doing this, taking the easy way out with working out instead of coming and working out and running on the treadmill? Are they taking the easy way out with the plastic surgery?
Plastic surgery has become something that's no longer taboo, but it's becoming more of a norm.
I agree.
And I'm not sure if that's because the conversation is just more open now. Like, hey, I'm doing this and stuff like that. I mean, look at like certain women back in like the 90s with the whole weave thing. Before I really knew what it was like,
yeah, weave,
it was
taboo at one point.
You know what I'm saying? I was like,
she got a weave in her hair.
You ain't know. But now it's like, oh yeah, now this is what I have. You know what I'm saying? So with women, it's just more, it's more open now. So it's like, hey, I feel like more people in general, specifically women, are trying it out. I personally, I can't speak for everyone else. I personally do not agree with plastic surgery for cosmetic reasons.
Okay.
Cosmetic reasons, being, of course, say someone got into an accident or something like that and has a deformity. Yeah, of course. That's more of a medical reason. But for people using it for what we're seeing now on social media and on TV and things like that to enhance their features, just to look better. I'm like, listen, keep what God gave you.
Yeah.
So I personally don't agree. I'm sure there's a lot of guys, specifically brothers, that like the whole like that look alike, but it's so artificial. I'm like, everybody.
And do you really love yourself?
Everybody looks like that.
Can you really look at it and say, this is me?
I mean, you almost could tell sometimes. I mean, these day and age, I think there's a deal going out in the Dominican Republic with this stuff. They giving out coupons for plastic surgery out there.
Really?
Yo,
Wow.
really? It's deep.
We talking like
People go out to DR.
$100 off.
I'm sure you guys heard.
Another $50 if you get the lips
buy
too.
one get
buy
one.
get
BOGO.
one free. This is almost. I'm telling you,
Get
this is
yours done.
almost-
Bring a friend.
Yo, this is almost.
Bring a friend and you get 10% off your next operation.
They don't do it out here as often because it's a little bit more expensive.
And they
out
put
here.
some jellyfish in your ass.
Yo, man, it's crazy.
Oh,
But the
man.
thing about it is, man, it's like
How you know it's not jellyfish? How do they know when you go to those countries that you ain't no got octopus in you?
But here's the thing that
Octopus
here's,
enhancements.
here's the thing that we're missing also with plastic surgery, because I train clients that have had plastic surgery and some that want to get plastic surgery and things like that. But one thing that we're missing, and I know we're laughing and joking about it, but one thing that we're missing is that for some people, they feel like this is really what I need. This thing that I'm doing to enhance my body is really gonna make me a better, happier person. You touched on it earlier. Certain things, emotions that are more intrinsic, that we're really not touching on. So, you take somebody that has, male or female, that has low self esteem,
Right.
you know, regarding something, and here's the fix for it.
And that seems to
No
be a
matter
big
what,
thing.
no matter how
Oh,
much
you're saying the industry is making
I'm-
money off of people's emotional.
off of people,
Right.
right,
Wow,
right. So
they
what I'm
think-
saying,
That's deep.
yeah. So I'm talking about something that's way deeper than the superficialness of it that
off
we're
of
talking.
people's personal and
What I'm,
internal
what I'm
issues.
what I'm saying is that
Wow.
how some people have glorified it has almost made it like it's, you know, it's okay. I have this cure for the thing that's making you unhappy. You know what I'm saying? When deep down inside, you're gonna be happy. You know, you're gonna be unhappy regardless, like
Right.
about yourself.
You need to accept yourself for who you
right.
are.
But now here's a way that you can do it much quicker. You know what I'm saying? Like
That's no different than taking drugs.
Forget.
Yeah.
That's
It's
no
there's
different than taking
It's
the
no
hit.
different. It's, you know, but
Yeah, I mean, think about it.
but-
You're altering reality.
but for some people, like it's like I'll go to any extent and any length to you know, to enhance my appearance, because that's the thing that's gonna make me feel fulfilled and make me feel complete as a person. You know, so
Wow.
I mean, when we look at it from that standpoint, again, that's something that we gotta go deep in and talk about the mental health side of it as well, because
Well, we're gonna get into that
yeah.
right after this break. Yeah. So you
Listen,
got a whole industry
You got a whole industry
that's
prying,
making
prying
money
on that.
off of people not accepting themselves.
Yep.
And a lot of, I guess, you know, that's no difference than me drinking my reality away,
Substance abuse,
me
right?
snorting it away.
Mm-hmm.
It's all, you know, we live in a this and
Instant.
and I'm doing. It's funny because I'm doing a show on my spirituality Sundays about how they have it designed, and these marketers in these industries are designed. They study people's flaws. They study character defects and insecurities and low self-esteem of people, and they turn it into a money market.
Right.
And this is what this market is. You know, let's do some hocus pocus. You remember the genie? Remember we was little and the genie would come out and grant you 3 wishes?
Right.
Right? But it was all really a facade, because at the end of it, everything that person wanted, you didn't have. And the genie was really trying to teach you, like, you didn't need
it. Yeah.
you didn't need these wishes.
Right.
Right? And so people are being granted their false wishes that aren't permanent.
And going back to what Devon said, he didn't stated a point about he said women, but I think it's people in general
People
that
in
have
general,
low
men
self-esteem.
too.
That have low self-esteem. And we had previously we had a show about getting help.
Yeah.
And I think
The last show.
And I think that could be some of the answers for people. Instead of this plastic surgery and altering their bodies and things of that nature, you know, when you reach to a point where your self-esteem is low and you don't feel good about yourself, it's the people that you have around you is getting help.
Right.
There are people out there that's going to be able to help you, and we talked about that.
Right. And then we can also, so now some of the things, because we don't want to just talk about the problem, we want to talk about the solution.
Let's do it.
Right. So people are now turning to vegans. I'm bumping into people and they like, I don't eat meat anymore. My kids in the house. We got a lot of healthy options
Right.
here in my house. You know, my wife today was like looking, you know, I'm not ordering anything out. We're going to eat here. And she made some healthy stuff in the kitchen and got the shrimp and, you know, the different stuff. And my other son, he's like, he's not eating anything that has a mother or whatever it is. So,
That's a mother.
anything that has a mother, right? So, you know, kind of to save the world, save the earth, save the environment.
Right.
Everybody play their part. If
Right.
we don't buy as much of the salmon and things like that, they won't fish it, right? So we can all be a part of the change that we seek. Be the change
Right.
that you seek. What Martin Luther King, heard Gandhi say, right? So people are turning to more healthier options opposed to soul food practices. And that kind of leads into the meal prep and the people exercising. You know, what are some of
healthier
your
lifestyle.
things that you're seeing that's going on, because I see these classes are being packed with some of the same stuff we're talking about. Women trying to get the weight off. And big up to all of my sisters that are in those workout classes. I see y'all sweating and huffing and puffing.
Some lucid tone classes.
Yo, I go in there and the oxygen levels is low. You gotta crawl on the ground to get some air. But y'all are in there.
Air.
Big ups. Big ups. What is part of the revolution that you're seeing happening?
The biggest thing right now that I'm seeing, you know, when it comes to being vegan, being vegetarian, being pescatarian, or any any food choice or any diet that you're following, because a diet does mean what you eat. So a pescatarian's diet is seafood. A vegan's diet is plant-based.
Right.
You know, the biggest thing I'm seeing right now with any diet that anyone's choosing is that it's becoming almost a fad as well. It's becoming almost a fad, you know, and not to say that it's a bad thing, you know, because for some, you know, they're finding out this new information and it's changing their lifestyle. So, you know, whether they found out from watching a Netflix documentary or, you know, What the Health is a big thing right now. I don't know if
What the Health,
seen that.
you
know, and a lot of people like, you know,
What the Health is big.
I'm not eating meat starting right now.
Forks Over Knives is another good one.
Forks Over Knives. You know what I'm saying?
Forks Over Knives. Watch it.
Things like that. Food Inc. You know, we can go on and on. So, like we said before about the education, it's about getting the information out there. So if that is what it's gonna take for people to get on a healthy lifestyle, then by all means, let's go for it. I'm the thing that I'm not a fan with is the people that are doing it for the quick fix kind of thing, you know.
Okay.
Or the other part that we have to know about it as well is that everything is not for everybody. Literally everybody. You know what I'm saying? It's not for everybody. You know what I'm saying? So you have to, just like with any other information, you have to take what applies to you, use that, and if it doesn't, discard it. You know, so certain things. I know somebody that has, you know, recently turned to eating more vegan, and I hate when people say I'm a vegan. Like I'm a vegan. No, you're a human first, with the way you eat is vegan. So let's get semantics right. Let's get semantics right. You know, but
we gotta watch how we talk.
You know, just so we understand. But you know, the person was, you know, became a vegan, and the iron levels were very low, and the bone density started to drop, and the doctor was telling them, hey, you need to, you know, do certain things. And they went to a holistic doctor, and the doctor was like, and someone I know is actually a biochemist, and he was like, you know, you should eat this type of, you know, animal protein, but it should come from this source.
Gotcha.
You know, it should come for you. You know, then someone else.
So do your homework and seek the help. But don't just make decisions based on what you see a show or something. Or you're saying go to your doctor. Yeah. Go to a dietitian. Get your body to
do your homework. I tell my clients all the time, do your
well-informed decision.
Do your homework as well. You know, just because something worked for one person may not work for everybody else. But if you see that, you know, there's certain changes that are happening with you, I mean, it could be, you know, for the most part, most people don't look at, you know, how am I feeling? How is this food making me feel? The relationship between you and the food. How am I feeling? Am I lethargic? Am I happy? Am I in a good mood? Am I in a bad mood? Is it making me break out? Do I have gas? Am I thirsty? You know, does this food, you know, what type of relationship do I have with this food? Because food is a drug too. You know, it releases those same endorphins as everything else. So you know, you have to really be careful with what you're putting in your body. And the same thing on the other side of the spectrum. If you're consuming a lot of meat and things that are overcooked and heavily processed that could become carcinogenic in your body. Right. And since we're on a topic, you know, and I'm not bashing vegans, anyone that's choosing a plant-based lifestyle, it's definitely, studies have shown it's definitely a lot better than having a more animal-based lifestyle. But, you know, for those who don't incorporate, you know, a healthier lifestyle and more plant-based, you know.
Like Jeff.
All these things, they throw them under the bus. You know, all these things.
We need to talk about Jeff's diet.
Let's be real about the brothers that I know.
That are, Jeff's gonna give us some of his diet
in their 30s, early 40s that are like, you know, let's not be fooled. Heart disease is the number one killer
yeah,
amongst
definitely.
African Americans.
High blood pressure.
You know what I'm saying? All
So
these
didn't
things,
Craig
all
Mack-
these things can
Craig
be
Mack
changed.
had
All
heart
these things can be
disease?
changed based on our lifestyle.
Right.
You know, and the number one thing that connects us all is the way we eat.
Yeah.
Point blank. You know what I'm saying? The number one thing is
I agree.
is the way we eat. So yeah, of course, if that means, so going back to before about the education and it's what you place value in. So yeah, I'd rather pay a little bit more at Whole Foods or Trader Joe's than going to the next store that sells conventional foods because it's gonna make my quality of life so much better later on
Well,
down,
you pay,
down
you
the
pay
road.
now, you pay later because you're gonna pay
pay
for those
now, you pay
operations.
double later.
You're gonna pay for heart surgery.
I agree.
You know,
You know?
you're gonna pay for all of those Twinkies that Jeff be eating. No, see, Jeff think because he's
He
slim, he can eat.
don't
he can
throw
eat a
Jeff
lot
under the
of-
bus right
he
now.
can eat a lot of junk.
Yo,
That's a misconception.
No, the thing about it is with me, my problem is that I don't even eat. I'm not an eater like that. You know,
Whenever somebody say that, it's like, what do you eat then? What are you eating?
Tell us your daily diet,
I,
Jeff.
I mean,
Tell us your diet,
Come
Jeff.
on.
I snack on things like the traditional Haitian food. I really
Shout out to
don't
the
eat all of
So
it.
what did you eat today? Let's talk about your day, quick.
I mean, today
2 minutes, 1 minute.
Today, all I had was
Yeah.
a light wheat bread with toasted light wheat bread with peanut butter on it. I mean, I made sure. That's what I just said.
Why
I
can't you
don't-
get that out?
I made sure that I had.
You toasted it. Oh wow.
Listen,
Why couldn't you get that out?
Good
toasted
job.
light wheat.
Light.
Toasted light wheat.
Oh.
Because I don't eat whole.
So what happened
bread.
to the jelly?
What?
No jelly, just toasted light
You
wheat
didn't have-
with peanut
Yo,
butter.
you know how dry his mouth is?
Toasted light wheat.
Now I see why you be chewing that gum all the
Oh
time.
man,
Listen.
you didn't have the tradition in Haitian,
What did
traditional
you-
Haitian breakfast. You didn't have no.
I mean, you know, like I said, I don't really eat like that. I'm not really an eater, you know.
Okay.
I mean,
so what do you
I'm-
eat, Jeff?
I'm-
Like, what would be a typical day for
Jesus
you?
Christ,
I just want to
Jeff.
know. I just want to know.
a typical day for me is
This is how a consultation will go down. By
a
the way.
typical day for me is
Jesus Christ.
toasted white bread with peanut butter.
Okay.
I mean, that's a
okay.
toasted light bread with peanut butter.
Okay.
And some tea and cream.
Tea and cream. Okay. What else?
Maybe occasionally some rice.
Okay. Lunch for lunchtime.
And I like eating salad with ranch.
Hell
ranch
no,
dressing.
you don't eat no damn salad. I'm trying to front.
With no meat on it.
He tried to clean
With no
it
meat on
up.
it. I like to eat salad with no
What
meat
kind
on
of
it.
salad,
And sometimes
Jeff?
I
Quick
even do this.
answer.
And sometimes I do this.
So that's
I put
lunch.
romaine lettuce on
Okay.
some bread with
getting
mayo,
fancy.
and I eat it just like that.
Okay. Okay. So no meat for lunch is what you're saying.
Not often. I
Not
don't eat meat as often.
Okay. So what's dinner? What's dinner?
I don't know if we're getting the truth out of Jeff.
Dinner could
Hold
be
on.
spaghetti.
Jeff,
Dinner
that's
could be spaghetti, and
With the chopped up sausage. You gotta have the chopped up.
I don't have the chopped up sauces on it, but every now and then I'll do some turkey sausage.
Turkey
on it.
links. Okay.
Every now and then.
Okay.
Every now and then.
Oh, every now
So
and
we had the light bread with the creamer in there. So we had
the
a bunch
peanut
of
butter.
simple carbs with some creamer in there.
You're officially a funny.
No, but
But hold on. So I wanted during the show, I wanted to say rest in peace to Craig Mack.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Crazy
rest in peace.
Yo, anybody that can say you're crazy like that glue, I gotta love you, right?
Yeah.
And another wake up call. Young
For real.
brother, I think he was 46.
Mm-hmm.
Heart problems.
Yeah. Fife.
Right. Fife.
Fife. You know what
I
I'm saying?
mean,
It's real. It's,
You know,
He was diabetic, I think. Fife. He passed away from diabetes. I
but we
believe.
gotta take care of ourselves.
Yeah.
We gotta
You
take
know-
care of
you know
we
what,
Need,
and
we
here-
need y'all to go to classes.
You know what,
Devon
here's-
Livingston
here's-
has classes. Please hit him up.
Here's another
Loose
thing,
and
though.
Tone Fitness. Go to his classes, please, people.
Yeah.
This guy's the guy.
We're gonna put some information.
See the
out.
veins in his
but,
arm?
But here's the other thing though. Let's be real. And I'm glad you brought that up and said diabetes because
Right.
the issue with that is the issue that most of us have, and I'm gonna be specific. The issue with African Americans, Caribbean Americans, that whole diaspora, everything. The issue with us is that we gotta stop looking at everything and saying this runs in my family. This is my genetics and stuff
Claiming
like that.
disease.
Yes, you may be predisposed to certain things, and I'm not a doctor in any
Right.
in any stance, you know.
Right.
But I'll study this. It's not always it's nature versus nurture. You know what I'm saying? So yes, naturally maybe predisposed to certain things, but the way you take care of your body. So if we don't only pass down disease, from one generation to the next, we also pass down habits. You know what I'm saying? So if I see my dad cooking a certain way,
Thoughts and ideas.
and he's having a certain lifestyle, more than likely, as a toddler, as a teenager, as a grown man, I'm gonna have those same traits if I was raised that way.
Right.
I'm gonna teach my kids the same things, and so on and so forth.
And that's pretty much with everything.
So it's with anything, So we have to start changing, like you said, changing the narrative, how we think, how we eat. Like, Tupac said, it's time to start making changes. You know what I'm saying? We have to start not just, like you said, claiming diabetes. We have to stop claiming these things and really understand that it's our lifestyle. It's the no sleep. It's the 9 to 9 grind. It's the eating quick things on the go and not really taking care of our health. One of the things that I always have said, and it's going to sound crazy, but when I was training in the city and Long Island and working with a certain demographic, other people see health and wellness, health, fitness, wellness, all of those things together combined as a necessity.
Yeah.
Now, if you're in a predominantly African American community,
It's a luxury.
it's a luxury. You get what I'm saying? It's different. Again, it's a mindset. It's a mindset.
Yep. That's just how they think.
But it's affecting us the most.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like you said about all the restaurants and different things like that. If you're in another affluent neighborhood and stuff like that, they're gonna have more cafes and different things like that because they know the demographic of the people that are there want healthier, fresher food.
Got you.
They accept the value a little bit more. They understand the worth of what the food is. Again, if you don't have the money, I totally understand that as well. But there are healthy options that you can get with the money that you have.
Because that the way of eating, that healthy way of eating,
that changes everything.
And
that changes everything.
It could get very expensive as well. It could get very expensive.
Let me be totally honest with you. It can get expensive, right? Because oh man, here we go. I'm about to get like Malik. I'm about to go there right now. Can I get 2 minutes? I need the floor for 2 minutes.
You could go there because then
Listen,
we want to get into what you got going on now. Before we close the show, we wrapping up.
Let me tell you about that because it can be expensive.
Okay.
It can also be very cost effective. If you're not eating out, if you're not eating,
we need to take a break.
We're gonna take a break then, and then we'll come back.
Start by accepting mine, because contrary to popular opinion, I'm the head nigger in charge.
Conversations with Malik. So go ahead.
Right. Most people think that it is expensive to eat healthy, and it can be, but the other thing is we also have to understand our eating habits. Now, if you're not eating out as much, if you're not going out different places to eat, or if you're not grabbing that extra bagel, that coffee and things like that, because all of that does add up, at the end of the day, it can be very cost effective to eat healthier. And let me tell you why. For someone like myself, who normally may eat, most people should be eating at least, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and if you have a longer days, you may be having a couple snacks in there. Right. Now, if I'm out at work, let's say I'm working a 9 to 5 somewhere, the average lunch could range in price from $10 to maybe $20 or something like that. Average lunch.
You're working in the city or something.
If you're having a drink with that too, so it really depends on where you're at. The average lunch or the average plate wherever you're at. So now let's say let's say I'm buying everything out, right? Because we have to compare it to if I had all my meals there, right? Gotcha. So let's just say $15 is the average, right? $10 to $20. $15 is the average. For some, it's gonna be way more.
Right. So
if I'm spending $15 at breakfast, $15 at lunch, I might be grabbing something in between. We're looking at least, I'm being generous by saying at least a $40 day, right? A $40 day. Now we multiply that by 7 because you're probably gonna eat dinner at home. Hopefully,
right.
Some people are gonna buy out. So people would have to do this on their own and really see what the numbers are.
And do the numbers, right?
A $40 day, right? You do that 5 days out the week, right?
Damn.
You do that 5 days out the week, a $40 day, 5 days out the week, right? You do the math.
$200.
plus your weekend, whatever your weekend is looking like. I don't know. Some people might
But weekend, forget about it.
Because we want to add the weekend.
You're gonna add the weekend, fellas. You going out with your lady or something like that?
So you can eat with you for how much a week?
What I'm saying, I've gone to a Trader Joe's, something like that, for myself personally, and
No,
spent
but I'm talking about your meal prep.
150, 100. My personal
Your
meal
meal
with my
plans.
company.
Yeah, with Loose and Tone.
Oh, we do 12 meals for $125, 15 meals for $150, and 18 meals for $200. You know what I'm saying? So it's cost
that
effective,
kinda-
and you're eating clean, and you're eating organic,
cost effective, yeah.
portion control food. You know, again, it's the education. You know what I'm saying? So
And what type of foods is this?
we're talking wild salmon, wild caught shrimp, organic ground turkey, organic chicken. We have vegetarian options, vegan options, chickpeas, black beans. We have a vegetarian chili. We have like whole wheat penne. We have brown rice. We
Nice.
have, the vegetables range anywhere.
Also, they can mix it up for,
you can
for
mix.
days,
You
so it's not like they
you
eat
can
the
mix,
same
you can,
thing
you
every
can mix
day.
it. You can mix it up.
And it's
so
prepackaged.
it's prepackaged and everything.
So all they're doing is throwing it in the
And-
microwave.
Oh, you're doing is microwaving it, and we're delivering it to you, and it's already you already know.
And
it's
you're
come from-
delivering it?
and we delivering it.
Wow.
And we delivering it
Like
I mean,
to the
for-
door? They
to
don't
the
got to
door.
like meet you on the
to
corner?
the door. That's it. You don't gotta
by
come.
the
no-
bodega on the side?
Nothing.
Wow.
None of that. None of that. None of that. You know what I'm saying?
People,
So yes,
get your meals.
It can be very cost effective. We have to stop thinking that it's not.
How could they get the menu?
You go right online, losingtone.com,
Losingtone.com.
LOSE, the letter N, TONE.com /LNT
He
meals.
spelt it, Jeff.
LNT
To those who
meals.
can't spell.
Right. You know what I'm
Spell
saying?
that
To
again.
make sure
Spell that
that
again, Devon, to those that
losing tone,
Shirt
LOSE.
right there.
NTONE.com /LNT meals, or once they go on the website, losingtone.com, you'll see the tab for LNT meals. And you'll see, but again, do your math. You know what I'm saying? Do
It
your
makes
research.
sense, and it makes
it does
economical
make sense.
sense.
It is
and
more
then
economical.
health. So it's economic on both
Wow.
ends because the
You're gonna
country they was talking about how if you make America healthy again, that's really making America great again.
Right.
Because the health industry is really what's pulling down.
Mm-hmm.
It's an anchor on the economy.
Exactly. Exactly. How are we one of the most technologically advanced countries, but we have most of the sickness, most of the ailments.
unhealthy- The most unhealthy.
You
by
know,
far.
we how is that possible? How we have all these different diseases every single year coming up and running rampant, and we have all these different different strains of diseases and things like that and viruses when we're the most technologically advanced. It doesn't make any sense.
So not only are you and in closing the show, because we're gonna wrap up.
Yep.
Not only is there physical fitness and training and classes that people can attend. You can go to classes. If you feel like you can't do it, you can do it. I've watched people come in some of those classes,
Right.
way overweight. I see the same sisters and brothers 6 months later, and I'm looking at them like, oh wow,
Transformed.
they're at the
Right.
front of the line. They go
Right.
from the back of the line to the middle,
Motivation wise
to
as
the
well.
front.
They, you know what I'm saying?
I've seen it over and over. The food, when you get in the culture, when you just join when you want to do something, you have to join the culture of it.
Right.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You want to be a
Right.
DJ, you're not going to be a DJ unless you're with other DJs and you're at all the parties.
Right.
Right.
You want to be a rapper, that means you're in the studio. That means you've met the most famous rappers because you just want to rub their hand. Why? Because you want to be a rapper.
Right.
You want to be an artist, you're with other artists painting, whatever it is, right? And so you want to lose weight, you want to get healthy, you got to get around the people, right? Because the energy and the strength that you lack, you'll get from others.
Right.
So in closing the show, I close the show in my normal fashion. And thanks for coming.
I appreciate being
Devon
here.
and
Always.
Jeff
Yeah,
Jones. We always do it good, and we have good conversations, and we got a lot to cover. So we got a lot of work to do, as this show continues on. But if today we was able to say something that made an individual person a little better, right? That person in turn now has some information and they're inspired their family is now a better family.
Right.
Just as a result of this show.
Right.
Their family being a better family has also made their community a better community. Because the family lives in the community. That community can make the state a better state. That state can therefore make the country a better country. And this country can make the world a better world.
Right.
So it's just that Conversations with Malik and this show tonight is actually that ripple effect of the rock that hits the water and the waves just go out into the universe. We do not know. You never can underestimate the power of the word. I bump into people that say, yo, man, you spoke somewhere 5 years ago, and since then my life has been different. And I don't even remember the person. Right? So this is going out into the world. Thank you for tuning in with Conversations with Malik. Peace and blessings.
Peace.